Well, I gotta give a character.
Welcome back to the Roe Jogan Experience. My name is Roe Jogan, your host, and I am here with Holden. This is my good friend Holden. Say hi, Holden.
Hey.
Yeah, he's not much of a talker, is he? But Holden has a real interesting story. I mean, the year is 1960. Lots of stuff's changing, but we'd just like to take some time to look back on, what, about 10 years ago, right?
That's right.
And we'd like to, look back around 10 years ago just to see where he came from. So, Holden, tell us your story. Where'd you start?
All right. So it all began one day at this school, this goddamn school. I fucking hate schools. And basically, at this school, I was standing outside of a football game on some hill. I don't like going in the football game. It's full of phonies, and if there's one thing I can't stand, it's phonies. So
Why
I'm
is that?
standing
Wait,
outside
well,
of
what do you mean? What do you mean it's full of phonies? Why was a football game full of phonies?
like everyone's so fake nowadays. Like who plays football?
I couldn't agree with you
Like,
more, my friend. I could not agree with you more.
you know what I'm saying? Like, our founding fathers did not intend for mankind to play football. I do not remember a single article of the Constitution that even mentioned football once. Maybe the Second Amendment, but anyway, the point is, I actually I just actually got kicked out of that goddamn school.
Oh,
Yeah, because my teachers hate me and because I failed all my classes.
are you sure it's because your teachers hated you? Do you reckon they hated you because you were failing your classes?
Well, no, school's just trying to teach you a bunch of useless crap. Like, listen, the
How
only
so?
class I really did good in was LA or English. I don't remember. I mean, that's why I failed all my classes. Because like I love reading. There's nothing better than a good book.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love books.
Interesting.
But don't even get me started on movies. Like, there's this one movie I saw this one time. Dude, this thing was called like Dracula. This thing was awful. Like, ugh. Everyone in the theater was like it was so good. Like, they're just a bunch of phonies because that was not a good movie.
What?
But anyways,
Oh,
where
well, like you say they're all phonies in movies. Like, why don't you like movies?
they're just
Well, you think they're just bad books? Books are basically a movie.
well. See, if movies, I don't like because people. It's the actors. I don't like the actors because they're pretending to be people they're not, and that's their job. Like, there's hardly anything more phony than that.
Interesting. Well, I mean, that certainly is an opinion. Continue, I suppose.
All right, so yeah, I went back to my dorm room after the football game because it was terrible, and then I was sitting around my bed being depressed, all that same old.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided I'd go give my old professor from Spencer a buzz. Oh, wait a
Sounds
minute.
like a threat. That sounds like a threat. Rephrase
No,
that.
no, it's not a threat. I just
What's
went
a?
over to his house. Don't worry, he knows
Oh,
me.
well, you went
Anyways,
over to your professor's house.
his
I
wife let
suppose.
me in. They all know me.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty well known.
Really?
Yeah. Turns out all you have to have you do is your brother die of cancer, and the whole faculty knows you. Oh, that brings me into another topic.
That being?
So I had this younger brother.
It's not
His
funny.
name was His
Nothing
name
about
was
this is funny. So what was his name?
his name was his name was Allie, and
His name was Allie.
he was the only non-phony guy I ever knew.
And what happened to
And
Allie?
he got leukemia and died.
That's so tragic. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Everyone else is so fake, but he was a real one.
This isn't funny. This is tragic. This really is tragic.
He had this baseball glove. It
What
had
was
poems written on it, and I had to use it for an essay, and then I remembered him, and I got sad.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry to hear that. Um
Anyways, that's not to the point. So yeah, I was talking to my history professor. So I go over to his house, and he basically just tells me that I got to get my life together because I'm screwing it up, and I don't apply myself or some like fake stuff.
uh-huh. Interesting.
Honest,
Well, did
yeah.
you apply yourself or did you just doze off in class?
Well, it was. Give me I'd prefer to keep going.
I okay. Okay.
Thank
Well,
you.
okay.
So yeah, I left his house, and I went
Mhm.
back. Spoke with I had this next door dorm mate named Ackley. Sorry, he's so stupid. I just absorbed his intelligence, and apparently I lost the ability to read. But he was.
So that's the live studio audience we have.
Oh, I didn't realize this was uh, a live talk.
Live studio audience in the back.
Yeah. Did they see me crying earlier?
Continue on your story.
All right. So um I was speaking with Ackley, and I just hate this guy. But I was speaking to him because my actual dorm mate Stradlater, he went out on this date with this one girl from my previous years, my younger years, uh, named Jane. And Jane, let me tell you, she was a real beauty. But anyways, Stradlater comes back, and like I care about her personality and all this, but then I get the impression that he was giving her the time in
What do you
his
mean by
coach's
that?
car. Well,
Like,
I believe that
do
I
you think they're doing the horizontal Charleston?
yeah, I believe nowadays they refer to it as sexual intercourse.
Of course.
Um, but I call it necking.
Question: how do you feel about those topics being taught in our youthful schools these days in the 1960s?
Well, that's actually a funny question. So I don't know if you knew this, but I actually have a severe fear of sex. You see,
That's not
um,
funny. That's not funny.
yeah, it's actually really hard to apply myself to
That's what she said.
scenarios because whenever um whenever I see a girl
Yeah.
that I find attractive, and then
Mm-hmm.
those pheromones and stuff activate, um,
Sure.
I enter fight or flight mode
Just a
and
word
I freeze
salad
up.
going on. All
Yeah,
right.
I don't know what to do. So most of the times I just kind of go for like a high five
Oh.
when I'm in an arousing scenario.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
I kind of give her one of those. Uh, and most of the time they don't actually high five back. Um, I get a lot of questions like, "What are you doing?" and "Why are you paying me?" And I mean,
Why are you
he
in my
doesn't.
shower? All the usual ones.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought I was doing them good by like saving them from. I mean, I feel like a high five is better than what they were
Sounds like you're
doing.
saving them from yourself. Do you feel an obligation or an obligation to save these people, you think?
I
Think it's
mean,
your job?
if no one else is going to do it, I mean, who's going to catch him from falling?
I see.
Yeah.
So
Where was
continue
I?
talking
All
about
right.
your previous Stradlatter's fling with I don't believe you mentioned her name.
Jane.
Jane.
Yeah. So he comes back from that, and I'm like, did you do it? And
Sorry,
he
just
just
for our audio only listeners, what do you mean by do it? The visual cues aren't really helping.
so by do it, I mean sexual intercourse.
Oh,
So,
okay.
anyways, he yeah. Sorry, I got so angry. This part's a little muddy. So he gets back, and I ask him like, did you engage in sexual intercourse in the back of your coach's car with Jane? And he just kind of gives me like this like sly answer. There was basically just saying like maybe. So I just lose it on this guy. Like I throw him to the ground. I'm like throwing punches. I'm like beating him up. There's blood all over me, but it was actually a much stronger guy than me, so actually I didn't win. But I was defending my honor right there. I was fighting for Jane because I'm a better partner for her than Stradler ever was. He just cares about their body, but I care about their emotions. So
Interesting.
yeah, what do you think? I mean, women are clearly much more than their bodies, right?
The year is 1960, as we all know. I mean, well, what do you think about the whole feminist movement in the 1960s as Holden?
Well, I gotta say, I mean, it's time society starts saving the woman like I've been doing for all these years. I mean, that's really all I have to say on it. Keep up the good work. I'm actually a big advocate. Stradlater would not be, though, if you're listening to this, Jane. He does not like women's rights.
Well, we actually touched base with Stradlater. He's actually in a prison, 15 years for felony theft of automobile parts.
You don't say.
It's crazy.
Man, maybe driving that coach's car around correlated somehow. Man, I need a drink. All right, so
do you want to get a drink? We can take a quick take a break. You want to just take a quick? We can take a quick break. Just get a drink real quick. We can take a quick break.
Yeah, that sounds good.
We're back on the Go Roe Jogan Experience. This is Holden. We have the live studio audience in the back. Live studio audience, give us some noise. Oh, there they are back there. They're a real rowdy bunch, let me tell you. Now, Holden, you were saying about I don't quite remember what you were talking about because we did take a real break.
I just covered my fight with Stradlater.
Well, what happened after that?
So after that, I'd already been kicked out of Pensy, but I just got like so disillusioned with it that even though I was supposed to leave like by Wednesday, I decided to leave the school and run away to New York that night. Yeah.
Just cause? You just felt like it?
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of depressed and like, I don't feel like sitting around that place anymore.
The year's 1960. Depression, I heard, isn't actually real. Wink, wink.
Yeah. I'd actually been reading up on that on this magazine called Truth Social, and it was I picked it up from my local stand for about 50 cents. And this thing's got some crazy stuff in there. Let me tell you, this Scottish immigrant, his name's Donald Trump. He's got some crazy ideas.
Wow. Because the year's 1960, and he's a Scotsman. And it's just crazy. 1960, Scotsman. Crazy.
Yeah.
Pick yourself up by your bootstraps, I guess.
I know.
So what happens after you left Pensy?
Alrighty, so I go on down to the local train station. I'm sure your town has one. And
Sure.
I got
Trains, 1960.
on. Or though we're actually 100 years after those are made. But anyways, I'm getting past the point. I get on the train to New York City, and I see the mom of one of my friends. Well, friends. They're all phonies. Someone I know. I won't even say acquaintance.
Just someone you know?
Yeah. Yeah, he was actually really a jerk. But yeah,
Ah.
I met his mom, and she sat down to me on the train. It was kind of awkward because all the seats were open. She chose to sit specifically there.
Hmm.
But yeah, we had a little chat. I made sure to butter her up, tell her that her son's like a great person and all this.
Well, you're just a
Obviously,
bit of a liar?
yeah. I mean, that's all crap, but you say whatever makes him feel good. So yeah, I get the idea in her head that her son's like this fantastic guy. He's actually like a rich phony.
Just a rich phony? Sounds like
hmm
everyone's that way.
Yeah, I'd say most people are. The only person that's ever not been a phony was.
This isn't funny. This is tragic.
Oh, it is correct. You know, I have something to share with you.
Oh.
He didn't actually die of cancer. Leukemia was the name of the boat that hit him.
That's
He was
tragic.
out
That's
he,
tragic.
he was out
There's nothing
swimming in
funny
the
about
lake.
that. That's tragic.
He was out swimming in the lake. He was riding. He was doing something out in the lake. My family was looking away at our because we were at
That's
our beach
tragic.
house.
That's
And this
tragic.
boat, the big leukemia, it comes over and it plows right through it.
That's not funny. That's tragic. That's so unbelievably tragic. I'm so sorry for your loss. That's so unbelievably tragic. I think your microphone might be a little. Is your microphone all right there, Holden? Oh, that's
Yeah, yeah.
that's so unbelievably tragic. That leukemia was the name of the boat that killed him out on the lake.
Yeah,
That's tragic.
it was a tough time.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
You know, that's actually where my sister got her name.
Oh,
Felt that was obviously such like a terrifying event. So Phobos, the Greek god of fear. My
no.
sisters, my parents. Well, it is read literature.
Oh, I'm
Uh,
sorry. That's my
maybe
fault.
if you didn't watch the movies all the time, you know who Phobos
You're right.
is.
This is my
But
fault.
Phoebe. It sounds kind of like Phobos. They named it because of the immense fear they felt when they saw my brother's head come off when leukemia hit him.
It's tragic. That's so tragic. I'm crying right now because I'm so sad for you. That's so tragic. That's unbelievably tragic. I'm so sorry. But let's, these are
It's
important
fine.
events that defined you.
Yeah, I just got all depressed and everything. It's fine. Let's just move on. So,
Oh, that quickly. Okay.
I mean, I'm one to hold on to the past, but we got an interview to get
Of
through.
course, we have an interview to get through. Now,
All right.
what happened next after the train ride? Well, you get to New York. What happens in the New York? The Big Apple, the city that never sleeps. The
So, as you
city's
know
so
me,
nice they named it twice, except for Kansas City. That's the one they don't tell you about. Kansas City, Kansas. It's like New York City, New York. Sorry, you
it's
were saying.
perfectly fine. So, I know what I'm gonna say. I'm just letting it marinate because
Oh, of course. Take
it's
your
a
time.
kind of an embarrassing subject matter. So,
Oh,
I when I get there, I go to a Locust telly booth. I'm gonna
the
go give
telly
people a
booth.
buzz.
Holy
Yeah.
lobster back. What a Tory. Geez, somebody called George Washington and say, I own a musket for home defense, just as the founding fathers intended. Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm trying to give people a buzz, and I tried contacting like this girl Sally. There's this other girl I used to neck. Um,
I'm sorry, you used to what?
neck.
Is that like you used to coitus?
Not exactly coitusing. It's I think it's first base.
So just like you just kissed each other's necks.
I think so. So
Okay.
but I'm a really like socially anxious guy, so I had a hard time. I had a hard time of connecting people. It was pretty bad.
I see. I'm sorry to hear that. Do you think that's part of your own fault of calling everybody phonies and fakes that this leads to your own ostracizement? Or is it everyone else's fault?
Just for some reason, they don't find me as interesting as I think they will.
They will when?
I don't even know, man.
I
It's
see.
it's been so hard. I have
It's
almost
been
no
10 years
friends.
since this happened.
I mean, you did have a point.
You're like a
It's hard to.
27-year-old adult. If you're still kind of struggling to make friends, it's a little
It's
sad.
I haven't made. I haven't made any new friends since then. It's the why. It's so you have to find the right person that isn't a phony to then try and engage in a friendship with them.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Well, continue. So you got to New York, you couldn't find anyone to make friends with?
Yeah, so I went to a nearby hotel because obviously I needed, somewhere to stay for the night.
Sure,
And
sure.
I'm in the hotel. It's pretty late, not too late, but pretty late. And the elevator man. Uh, he's basically like, "Yo, dude, if you like give me like $15, you can spend the night with a nice young broad." And as you know me, 17 at the time. I'm not one to pass up on physical relations with a woman. So
Sure.
I just go for like the $5 for like, I don't know, an hour. And I have her come up. Well, she comes up later. I go to my room and I'm like, I'm getting all freshed up. I don't really know why I need to get freshened up for a prostitute, but it feels right because I want to, give myself a good impression. And then, this girl comes up. See, her name's Sunny, and dude, she made me so depressed. Like she's like my age, and you can tell she just wants to get the job done and get out of there. Now, like I had some conversation topics, but like I don't think you're supposed to ask them how they got into the job of being a prostitute.
I'd
So
agree.
yeah, I never actually gave her the time.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to like talk or
Sounds like you
something.
just wanted a friend.
Yeah, but she had other ideas. I
Man,
think she just came for the money.
this kid's
So
sad. All right, well, sorry,
basically,
what you didn't hear that. Now, what happened next after that? I mean, that. Sad.
so at this point, I was like even more depressed than normal.
You know,
Like I
I
was
heard
thinking about
depression was a lie made up by the Reds.
and at this time that means communism, not Republicans. But yeah, so it was. I thought about jumping out the window, but I didn't want everyone to see my gore. You know, I don't want to
Of
make
course,
this an R-rated story. So
of course.
I yeah, I'm just like, you can go. This is going nowhere. And she's like, $10. And if you remember, the guy in the elevator said $5. So she's trying to upcharge me. So I'm like, no, I'll give you $5, which is what you asked for, and then you'll go. So yeah, she actually talked to the guy, and he came up and almost beat me up. But
Wow.
no, yeah, I did pay $10.
Interesting. Okay. That's certainly an interesting encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you go to next? Like in the morning?
All right. So, I think I have to bring up what I did the rest of that night, which is
Well, did
nothing
anything
notable.
else interesting happen that night?
And I went to like a bar, tried getting these like not even that good looking girls to talk to me, and tried using alcohol to socialize, but it didn't work. So really, none of that's important. Point is, in the morning, I give a buzz to Sally, and I brought her up earlier. Used to neck her, and
Of course.
mhm. And I planned a little date. And the funny thing about Little Date, it's actually this great record. You can find it down at any local shop. It is some amazing tracks on there. Like he has this one track that's called Kind of Getting Ready to Get Married. And this thing is beautiful.
Lil Date. That sounds perfect. One of my friends upstate, he's got this idea of a show called Lally-Paloozy. It's gonna run. No, I mean he's real loosey goose with these deadlines. I bet he says it's gonna run next year. There's no way it's gonna run any sooner than 1991. But hey, I think Lil Date might be there at Lally-Paloozy.
I mean, 1991's far off, but I mean, I'm willing to chip in like $50 to see if it becomes of anything. And that's a fair share of money for our time.
Because the year is 1960.
It sure is.
So,
So yeah, I'm going to the date with her, and we go ice skating. She's got in a really cute outfit, and at first I wasn't like, I don't really want to be with this girl. But then I'm like, after I see her in this outfit, I'm like, I like this girl. So yeah, we go inside, and so as I previously expressed, I think pretty much all modern society is fake. Like
oh,
it's all phonies, and that's what I basically tell her, like, let's go run away with me, and I want to go live on a farm in the West. Just go live in the woods or
like
something.
a true American, this one is.
Yep. Uh, you know, but she said no.
I see.
Uh,
And how'd you take that rejection?
yeah, she kind of treated me like I was crazy, and that really hurt. I mean, the one person who kind of was caring about me rejected me too.
Have
And
you ever
then,
thought that maybe you're the crazy one?
and then no, because
No?
everyone else is phonies.
Everyone else is
Um,
phonies.
but yeah, I also accidentally essentially told her off, and she yeah, was not
I
happy.
see.
Yeah,
That's quite unfortunate for you.
yeah, it was. So that was the end of that. There's no more. So yeah, I was feeling depressed again. Uh, or whatever they're calling it. Uh, so I decided, since I'd head on over to my parents' apartment in New York, because so I actually grew up where they're quite well off people from being such good phonies. So
I
I
see.
go on over to the apartment. I sneak in, and because I don't want to know that I got kicked out of school early, obviously. And
Understandably.
I go on up. I sneak into my little sister Phoebe's room. Now
The
Phoebe,
one named after the Greek god of fear.
yes, because of the unfortunate incident involving leukemia and my brother.
Of course. It's tragic. Not funny, it's tragic.
I know, I know.
Sorry. You were saying.
This
You
wasn't even
broke
the
into your.
second time This wasn't even the second time he came close to death.
What was the first
He
time?
was, when he was just born. We take him out of the hospital, and this big bus, part of the Jaundice Tour Company, came plowing by, and it skimmed my mom. She dropped the baby, and it landed in a pile of urine. It was awful.
That's tragic. That's so
It was
tragic.
it was in 1 minute. But he was dyed yellow for a month, and all I can remember was that stupid bus jaundice.
That's tragic. That's
I was
tragic.
so stressed out in that time,
Oh, that is.
but eventually he got
Eventually
better.
recovered.
Yeah,
You know, whenever
strong little
I'm
fighter that
stressed
was.
out, I turn to the bottle because the year is 1960, and
Yes,
depression is a
liquor is
lie made
great.
up by the Reds.
Oh, I hate those commies.
Attaboy, Holden. Attaboy.
Yeah.
Now, what happened after you broke into your parents' apartment?
So I go see my sister Phoebe. Uh, she's like the only person. She's like my only friend, basically.
I
And I
see.
know some people are saying
That's
like
really
your only.
sad.
I know some people would say that your only friend being your younger sister is really sad, but you haven't seen her. This kid is amazing. So I hang out in her room. We talk about it. She's a really smart kid, so she figures out that I flunked school again. And she's like, "Dad's gonna kill you." Obviously, I don't want to tell my dad. And yeah, she actually covers up for me when my parents come in, show you how loyal she is. And yeah. And then
And then
she got
what?
mad at me. I don't even remember
Oh,
why. I
you just
think
kind
I
of block that out of your
insult.
memory?
Yeah. I don't know. Everything starts to get a little fuzzy by this point. I kind of ran into a bit of a medical issue later. So
I see.
yeah, after that, I don't know. I leave the house then because it's awkward, and I don't really know where to go. So I go over to one of my old teachers from one of my many schools, Mr. Antolini's house, and so it started off good. This guy, he's a nice guy. He's married to an older woman, like pretty significantly older, and he's a pretty heavy drinker, but he's a pretty good guy. I'd almost consider him a friend, but at this one point, I was, planning to stay the night there because I had nowhere else to go, and they offered. And I woke up, and he was touching me
Touching you
on my.
how?
He was petting my head, and like I didn't. That felt. That was really uncomfortable, especially coming from someone I was kind of close to. I just had to leave at that point. And you could tell he was clearly intoxicated. So I made
Oh,
up some excuse about having to go grab my bags, and I got out of there.
interesting.
So yeah, at this point, time passes and it's morning, and I go on over to Phoebe's school because I want to make up with her, and I let him a note to the teachers to tell her to come on down to the museum at lunchtime. We hang out there all the time. It's a pretty cool place. It's got this nice exhibit on Native Americans. Um, yeah, so she actually does come, and at first she doesn't talk to me. But basically, the entire museum, she doesn't talk to me because she was still
Oh,
mad about uh, the argument. But eventually, I take her to this old carousel, and it's a really cool place. I used to love this place. She loves it too. They have like a whole ring gang set up. Kids on like the horses trying to grab the rings,
oh.
and it's really nice. So yeah, she's on there, and I can't tell you, but this like made me so happy seeing her like that. Just going around on her horse catching rings. It made me so happy. And then I blacked out.
Oh,
Yeah. I actually woke up in a sanatorium. It was Yeah. Apparently, I had some pretty severe mental issues.
Mental issues. I barely know her.
You know, I have a really hard time with women, so I find that joke extremely insensitive.
Oh, whenever I have trouble with women, I turn to the bottle.
Yeah, I do too, but that hasn't helped.
Because the year's 1960. Oh, I'm sorry.
Are
Continue.
you one of those phonies,
Me?
Roe Jogan?
I'm the realest person there is. I'm the one and only Roe Jogan, of course. So, is there much? Is that the end of your story? Does it end at the sanatorium?
Yeah, that's where that story ends. Of course, eventually I get out. Um, my parents, obviously, they're very wealthy, so they pay my way through a different college. You know, and then I get a job in my father's law firm. I
Oh,
can help
you became
phonies prosecute more phonies.
just you studied law. Quite the turnaround. I'm rather impressed. Now
Well,
I have
I
a
didn't
question.
study it.
Oh, well, no matter. I have a question. If you were to title this journey, what would that be?
So I had to have a first choice. I'd say The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Because I don't know if you know this, but at one of my previous schools, they used to call me Huckleberry Finn on account of the fact that I used to swim like a shark and they have fins through the fields of huckleberries. But by the time I went to publish this story, the name was already taken. So
Of
I
course,
use reference from
because
this
Mark
old
Twain
poem.
was before 1960, the year in which it is.
Yes, he was actually quite significantly before the year in which we live, which is
The year
1960.
of our Lord,
So
1960. Amen, brother.
yeah, nothing bad can happen in the next decade.
Amen to that.
So
John F. Kennedy was just
uh,
elected. He's a real cool guy. Nothing
he's
bad
got
could
a
ever happen
bright
to him.
he's got a bright future ahead of him. He's a real head above the rest of the competition. So I think he's gonna do a really good job as president, and I look forward to a full 4 years with him.
I mean, he really
And his
shot past the rest of the competition,
yeah,
and
I
he's
mean, have
just
you seen it?
darting down to Dallas for his campaign. I think that's next week. He's campaigning down in Texas.
Really?
I know.
I go down and watch that. He's a real up and coming politician. I found him kind of interesting, even though that whole Kennedy family is a bunch of phonies. Besides him, and of course his brother Bobby. I hope he gets into politics afterwards.
You know, Bobby's son, Robert. What do you think about him? I mean, he's a real youngin', but
Yeah, so I don't actually know too much. All I've read about him was about one article, and it seems like he has some really weird ideas about genetics at a very young age.
that's quite impressive to be that young and having ideas about genetics.
Yeah, I don't know what they're teaching them over at that Kennedy household. Uh,
Interesting. Well, the title? You said it was about some old poem.
yeah, it was about a poem. So there's this poem, and it's about these two people meeting in the rye. It's a coitusing or something. But I always thought it was to catch someone going through the rye. It's about like some guy catching kids from going off the edge of a cliff. But this is what my argument was about with my sister. I just remembered now. So I still have some brain fog.
Of course.
Yeah, she told me it was actually meat, and that hurt me because I felt like I had to save people. But then my whole basis of my ideology was just wrong.
Interesting.
Ja,
Interesting.
yeah, it kind of hurt me.
I'm sorry to
That's
hear
why
that.
I titled it "The Catcher in the Rye" because it pretty much sums up that whole chapter of my life and my mindset at the time.
Interesting. Well, we I'm sorry, but we're just about out of time here. Now, everybody for the Roe Jogan podcast, be sure to tune in next week. We're gonna have the one and only Queen Elizabeth II on this podcast. It's gonna be grand old time. Smash like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.